Hello students. In first chapter we have seen the crystals are the periodic arrangement of atom in all three dimensions. As a result of that they are showing some anisotropic nature in their property. That is, physical quantities are depends upon the direction. We have also seen that the 7 crystal structure and 14 Bravais lattices. But the real study about the crystal, about their different lattice parameter, we have started after the invention of X-ray diffraction. And in second chapter we are going to discuss some basic aspects on X-ray diffraction, that is XRD, and other characterization techniques. Here the X-ray diffraction or XRD is nothing but the interaction of X-ray light with respect to the crystalline material. Some contents in our discussions are given here. What is X-ray diffraction? What is Loewe postulate about it? How Bragg's diffraction condition is useful in order to analyze the crystalline material or to study the different parameters of the crystal, how crystal can be acts as a grating, and regarding some applications. Here you might have aware or you might have performed the experiment of how laser light interacts with respect to the grating. The laser source are producing the laser light, and this laser light is making some interaction with respect to the grating. As a result of that, only by getting the simple direct spot over here, we are getting some series of spot for the left hand side as well as the right hand side. And this deviation of light or laser light here with respect to the straight line, that deviation is due to the diffraction of laser light, and the real picture in the lab has been given here. So deviation is nothing but we call as a diffraction. So diffraction of a laser light by the grating were familiar in those days. But in order to study the crystalline material, we have to have some interaction material. For the same, this experiment, that is diffraction of a laser light by a grating, was really very important for the invention of XRD, in which we interact laser light with respect to the crystal for getting some information about the crystal from the diffraction of XRD. For the same, we know that when we are having first wave and different types of waves are there. For our convenience, we have considered the wave. In first case, they are in phase. So when two or more than two waves are in phase, then their resultant will be in such a way that their amplitude is nothing but their addition of individual amplitude, or resultant amplitude is greater than that of the individual amplitude. When this is the case, we call that meeting of a waves and they are in phase. In another manner, when we are having first wave, but now for this time the remaining wave or the second wave which has been shown over here, when it is out of phase. Out of phase means if there is the first wave indicating crest and at the simultaneously the second wave will indicate the trough. As a result of that, due to superposition of them, we are getting very least wave here, or this resultant wave is having small amplitude as compared to the individual one. And this is the case in which we are calling that waves are meeting, but this meeting is out of phase. these two discussion we are going to use for the further discussion of the diffraction of X-ray. And therefore, for that diffraction we have written that diffraction can be scattering by periodic array, and that array is producing some constructive interference, and that constructive interference is taking place only at certain angles. This is the definition of diffraction. And the light or X-ray is interacting with respect to the periodic array of atom. As a result of that, due to that interaction at specific angles, waves are meeting in phase or they are meeting out of phase. As a result of that, very systematic constructive and destructive interference pattern is seen on the screen alternative. This diffraction can be shown by X-ray, it can be of electrons, or it can be shown by neutrons as well. But here we are restricted our discussion only about the X-rays. As I told you that we are using the X-ray for the analysis of the crystalline material. If we consider the visible light wavelength, then it is in the range of 4000 to that of 7000 angstrom unit. With respect to that wavelength, X-rays are having very least wavelength, that is 0.5 to that of 2.5 angstrom unit, which is very less compared to the visible. And due to these characteristics, we are going to see what is the significance or why only X-rays are used for the analysis of the crystalline material. Why not infrared, why not radio waves, or why not other types of wave that we can discuss later on. So, in first chapter we have seen there are total 7 crystal structure and 14 Bravais lattices. But that categorization or that classification of the crystal where the study of the mathematical theory of crystal symmetry. In those days, these X-ray diffraction were not invented. As a result of that, Bravais had studied or he has classified the arrangement of atom in a given lattice with the help of mathematical theory of crystal symmetry. He has not studied this XRD. Let us see that how this journey of use of X-ray for the crystal has been started. Initially, in 1895, the X-rays were discovered by the scientist Röntgen. And after that, in 1914, the Loewe and with his co-workers have invented that crystal can be acts as a grating for the diffraction of X-ray. And this postulate he were put forth in 1914. For the postulate, they were the recipient of the Nobel Prize in those days. In 1915, the Bragg along with his son, they have developed very systematic theory about the analysis of crystal structure from the diffraction pattern, and they were the successful in doing so. They have solved or analyzed many crystal structure from the diffraction pattern, and from that onward, regarding the determination of crystal details, X-rays were started to use, and even Watson and Crick, they have used these X-ray for the analysis of DNA structure. So from that we can say that in 1914 the milestone was due to the Loewe. Due to Loewe's theory, we could reach that X-ray can be produced diffraction if they are encounter the crystalline material. and from the systematic analysis of diffraction pattern produced by the crystal. So, not only in the analysis of crystal parameters in physics, but also in material science or in some chemistry material as well as some biological material can be effectively studied by using this X-ray diffraction technique. What he has postulated, or what is postulate of Loewe? For the same, he said that if X-rays are wave as well as if crystal are having periodic arrangement of atom, then and then only this crystal can be acts as a three-dimension grating. Or in another words, we can say that his postulate where the confirmatory test of X-rays are wave as well as crystal is consist of periodic array of an atom. So, if there is diffraction, then X-rays are wave and crystals are periodic arrangement of atom can be confirmed. But on the contrary, if there is no any diffraction, then either X-rays are not waves or crystals are not periodic arrangement of atom. So here these two possibilities we have mentioned. If X-rays are wave, that we have represented by wave over here, and crystals are not periodic arrangement of atom. So first condition is true, but second is false. Still there will be no any diffraction shown by X-ray. For the same, we have seen that if X-rays are represented like waves over here and crystals are showing the random arrangement of atom, then their effect will be not shown and there will be no any diffraction. On the contrary, if X-rays are not waves, while for this time crystals are very systematic arrangement of atom, then also there will be no any diffraction condition or no diffraction will be shown by X-ray. But very fortunately, these two conditions are true. X-rays are wave as well as crystals are the periodic arrangement of atom. Then and then only diffraction will be revealed by this particular experiment. And this was the successful story of the systematic study of Loewe. This photograph I have taken from the Google, and the arrangement or the photography film that is shown over here. So the central part would be only due to transmitted X-rays, while the side are covered with different spot. So it means that if there is no interaction of X-ray with respect to crystal, then in principle only dark spot should be seen. But there is certain interaction, certain communication between X-ray and periodic arrangement of atom is there. As a result of that, deviation or diffraction is taking place. So the success of the Loewe's experiment have concluded two things. First is X-rays are wave, and second crystals are periodic arrangement of atom. And due to his systematic invention, he was the recipient of the Nobel Prize. So that has been summarized over here, that X-rays are waves and crystal are periodic arrangement of atom. And therefore, in order to understand how this diffraction is used for the study of atoms, for the same we have learned in first chapter that crystal is nothing but the combination of lattice plus motif or basis. And in order to study lattice as well as basis, the X-ray diffraction is one of the indispensable or important technique. By this technique, we can determine lattice by observing peak position, as well as by observing peak intensity we can study what is or what type of motif is or basis is. For the same, Let us see that how atoms are arranged systematically. That has been represented by blue spheres over here, and incident X-rays has been represented by the black dark arrow here. Once these X-rays are incident or collide with respect to the electrons which belongs from different atom, then the electrons are acts as a secondary waves, and as a result of that they will emit the X-rays. Due to their interaction, the secondary waves or X-rays are emitted in all three directions. That has been shown over here. Not only this, but at the same time, if X-rays are interacting with respect to each and every atom will be emitting the X-rays over here, that is depicted by this particular figure. But now, if there is the certain direction along which we are getting the maximum intensities. So, the reason of maximum intensities can be explained by considering the condition or the diffraction here. For the same, if these electrons are acts as a source of emission of X-rays, then there might be the certain direction. Along that direction, the waves emitted by individual electron are meeting in phase. And if they are meeting in phase, then they will produce the, in phase means they will produce the constructive interference, and therefore intensity will be maximum. If they are meeting out of phase, then intensity would be minimum. So here we have written that if phase difference between the reflected ray, we have shown different types of rays over here which are reflected from different atoms. So if phase difference between reflected rays are in phase, then reinforcement will take place and there will be intensity will be maximum. If not, then intensity will be minimum. And this was the systematic study shown by Sir Lowe. But now after that, for the analysis of the X-ray diffraction pattern, Bragg came, and according to him, he has made some little correction. But due to that correction, the analysis of X-ray diffraction pattern were very easily. This Bragg has introduced the concept of atomic planes. And according to Bragg, he said that X-rays are reflected by these atomic planes. He has used this word of reflected. Reflected means angle of incidence will be same as that of angle of reflection. So therefore, reflected word is important here. So he has the change by calling different atom as a atomic planes. And according to him, he says that X-rays are reflected by these different atomic planes. These atomic planes he called as a mirror plane as well. Why mirror? Because angle of incidence and angle of reflection are same. But this mirror plane was the idea or the concept which was purely hypothetical. But this idea of mirror planes has made simplicity for the analysis of diffraction pattern. So here the maximum intensity or the constructive interference we have shown, and that is represented by this dark red arrow, which indicates at certain direction there will be the interference will take place, and this depends upon the phase. This was idea of the Lowe. But this Bragg was really intelligent. The analysis of diffraction produced by the crystal were become very easy by the concept which was introduced by him. And he said that the X-rays are reflected by these atomic planes. So the reflection, he has word, the use reflected. So he introduced the new concept of the mirror plane. And from this mirror plane, X-rays are simply reflected, in which they can act as a mirror. Due to this hypothetical idea or the concept of mirror plane, the analysis of diffraction pattern were become easy, and he was the recipient of Nobel Prize in 1915. Here we have taken the arbitrary direction, and this is the direction along which we are getting maximum intensities, or the emission will meet in a phase. If this is the other direction, then Bragg said that really for this particular direction as well there exist different atomic plane, and these atomic planes acts as a mirror. When X-rays are reflected from different atomic planes, then they are simply reflected and they will produce the constructive and destructive pattern there. The idea of Bragg's hypothesis has been put forth here. In first part, he said that the diffracted beam of X-ray appears to be specularly reflected from a set of crystal lattice planes. This idea or the statement I have taken from this website. According to Bragg, they said they means he and along with his father. They jointly put forth the idea that there is specularly reflection is taking place from different lattice plane. And in second part, they put forth this condition, that is n lambda is equal to 2d sine theta. Here we have written suffix to d as well as theta because each and every set of parallel plane is characterized by HKL or Miller indices, and depending upon their HKL, the theta would be different. So if HKL would be different, then theta would also different. In this analysis, he said that this condition is the condition for reflection. That is the significance or the idea of Bragg. And he said that in science, we are many a times confused. We are trying to obtain new facts, but we have to discover new ways of thinking also. For the explanation of diffraction of X-ray by crystal, we have represented two atomic planes over here by taking an idea from Bragg's condition. So these two atomic planes, they are separated by perpendicular distance as a interplanar distance. And this interplanar distance will be different if we consider different sets of atomic planes. For this particular hypothetical example, the incident light 1 and 2, these are incident X-rays, and 1' and 2' are the reflected X-rays from the upper and down atomic planes respectively. When 1 and 2 light rays of X-ray, when they are traveling, then they are traveling certain same distance, but the lower light ray will travel some extra distance compared to 1. And here that extra distance is denoted in this particular diagram as A, B and C, because before point A and after point C, both the incident and reflected X-rays are parallel to each other. So they will travel the same distance. But during this ABC, they will travel the extra distance, or lower light ray has traveled some extra distance, and we call that distance as a path difference. Here we have written in terms of distance AB plus BC. So distance AB plus BC is ABC. We call that particular distance as a path difference. And in terms of d and theta, by making some mathematical idea, we can get AB is d sin theta, and similarly BC is also d sin theta. And the AB plus BC is giving us 2d sin theta. So therefore 2d sin theta is equal to n lambda. This is the condition for the constructive interference. So when this condition will be satisfied, then 1' and 2' and along with his other rays, they will meet in phase and produce the more intensity. Here the pair of Bragg has been shown here. First is William Henry Bragg and second is William Lawrence Bragg. Why the X-rays are used for the analysis of crystals only? Why not ultraviolet? Why not gamma? Why not microwave? Why not radio waves, and so on? So the explanation has been given here. Typical interplanar distance, we have taken d as a 1.5 angstrom unit. For the first order diffraction, we consider n stands to be 1. And this Bragg's diffraction condition will modify if we substitute values of d and n in this particular equation. By solving it, we will have sin theta is equal to lambda upon 2, where lambda is wavelength. So when incident wavelength is greater than 3 angstrom unit, then sin theta will be greater than 1. And as a result of that, no diffraction, or simply in the language of Bragg, no reflection will be indicated. And systematic absence or presence will be not shown. For the case of radio waves and for the case of gamma rays as well, because once this wavelength becomes greater than 3 angstrom unit, then the sin theta will be greater than 1. As a result of that, the wavelength greater than this particular limit are not used and they will not produce the diffraction pattern. This is the condition on use of only X-rays. Here the X-rays are characterized by their wavelength, as I told you, but this wavelength is again characterized or decided by which type of anode material we have used. For the same, the anode's material has been represented by the first column and corresponding wavelength are shown over here. Many a times copper is selected for the diffraction which produce 1.54 angstrom unit wavelength. The schematic diagram of X-ray diffraction has been shown over here. For the same, incident beam is there. It interacts, communicate with respect to the sample. Sample is consist of arrays of atom. Some light ray or some X-rays, we can say, they are transmitted. They are not deviating. While others which are deviating are captured or collected with the help of detector here. This detector is changing its position along the circumference of the circle. So as a result of that, X-ray detector will count the amount of light received, and that is the function of angle 2 theta over here. So there will be different direction for different atomic planes as suggested by Bragg pair. And by changing 2 theta over here, because we are changing the position of X-ray detector. By changing to theta, the intensity will get changed. As a result of that, output of this X-ray diffraction is consist of intensity versus 2 theta. Here the 2 theta is angle made by diffracted X-ray with respect to the incident light ray. As a result of that, the output is consist of intensity versus 2 theta, not theta. For the simple cubic crystal, we are having arrangement of atom along 3 direction has been shown over here, and it reveals that we are having one plane along this direction and we are having the down plane or base plane. In between two planes, the X-rays are coming, they are hitting, they are interacting, and reflection will take place in the direction of 1 prime and 2 prime over here. For the example of simple cubic, the atoms are located only at the corners. So therefore, if we select this particular direction, that is 100 direction. 100 direction means we will consider this plane which is interacting or intersecting along x-axis only. It is parallel to y and z axis. So with respect to this atomic plane of 100, the reflection will take place indicated as 1 prime and 2 prime here. For this particular pair of the X-ray, that is 1 prime and 2 prime, it will indicate that path difference is nothing but lambda, because we know that the atomic planes of 100, they are separated by the distance given by lattice constant A. And as a typical example, this A is in the range, that is this lambda will comes out to be equal to 2a sin theta. So therefore 1 prime and 2 prime here, they are producing interference and we are getting peak which has arises from the reflection of 100 plane. Similarly, if we consider another example, that is body center cubic crystal. In this particular example, the atoms are little bit changed as compared to the simple cubic. That is, one extra atom is located at the center of the body. But due to that extra atom, there is large change in the reflection will take place. The value of D, that is 100, is A, that remains same. But here if we try to see what is path difference between the pair of reflected rays depicted here as 1 prime and 3 prime, will have path difference little bit less as compared to the previous one, because this distance from this point to this point, it has been reduced as compared to the simple cubic. And here for this BCC type of crystal, it goes to path difference is equal to lambda by 2. But this is the condition which is destructive interference. As a result of that, if the reflected X-rays, if they are satisfying the destructive interference, means 100 plane will not present in the diffraction from the BCC type of crystal. So which type of reflection will be present depends upon what type of path difference these X-rays are having. For this typical example, 100 reflection is simply absent in BCC. The next example we have taken from the textbook of B.D. Kuliti, in which it says that how position of atom in a unit cell affect the intensity but not the direction. For the same, we have taken base-centered orthorhombic unit cell and body-centered orthorhombic unit cell. In the left-hand side diagram, atoms are located at the corners as well as at the opposite faces of the two sides only. As a result of that, if we consider 0, 0, 1 plane, then let us see whether they are able to produce diffraction pattern in the both diagram or not. The second example, in which we have shifted our two pair of atom in such a way that this atom, that is lower atom, will go to the body centered atom. As a result of that, new diagram which has been seen over here is representing body centered orthorhombic unit cell. So even if we have little bit translated a pair of atoms, still the reflection or the diffraction pattern will modify to the large extent. For the same, we have shown that this atom by this blue color, so first atomic plane and second atomic plane over here. So 1 and 2 is incident X-ray, 1 prime and 2 prime is the reflected X-ray. Here, for this particular example of end centered or base center orthorhombic type of cell, the 1 prime and 2 prime, they are meeting in such a way that their meeting will produce the in phase or intensity will be maximum. As a result of that, 0, 0, 1 plane will be present in the diffraction pattern. But now, as a pair of atom has been shifted, means for the case of body centered orthorhombic cell, let us see what will happen in that case. So this atom is located at the half distance compared to the original one, and X-rays are reflected from the corresponding atomic planes as well. So here, regarding 1 prime and 3 prime of X-rays, the part difference is DE plus EF, or DEF is representing part difference between the light ray of 1 prime and 3 prime. And here certainly it has been reduced as compared to the older one. As a result of that, the part difference between 1 prime and 3 prime is equal to lambda upon 2. And this is the condition of out of phase. As a result of that, 1 prime and 3 prime X-rays are annual each other and they are cancelling to each other. And 0, 0, 1 reflection is absent in this particular type of unit cell. So depending upon HKL, some planes are depicted or shown in the diffraction pattern while some are not shown. So regarding what are the conditions which were imposed on the HKL has been summarized over here. For the case of simple cubic unit cell, all HKL are present, whether they are even or odd, that is immaterial. While for the case of body centered cubic unit cell, the diffraction peak will present for only if HKL, their addition will be even. If H plus K plus L will be odd, then corresponding peak will be not shown in the diffraction pattern. For the face centered cubic cell, all HKL should be either odd or they should be all even. Then and then only the corresponding peak will be shown in the diffraction pattern. Otherwise, it will be absent simply. Regarding some application that has been summarized here, we can systematically study lattice parameter, that is A, B, C and alpha, beta, gamma. We can determine orientation, we can determine crystalline size. If we are incorporating or doping the given material by some foreign atom, then lattice parameter will get changed. So that modification of atom will result some strain. So strain produced in the crystalline material can be studied by X-ray diffraction technique. Phases, whether our phase is pure or impure, that can be identified, and at the same time proteins or some amino acids can be studied by using the simple technique. In this manner, the X-ray diffraction is very important, or the characterized technique is important here. These are some references from where I have taken the diagram. The remaining part, that is other characterization technique, X-ray diffraction in reciprocal lattice, we will discuss in the next lecture. Thank you.